Hi, grade threes. We are going to learn how to problem solve in our measuring unit. So today you would have already done the Pear Deck lesson with us at our meeting, hopefully. And now you're watching this video lesson to explain maybe some of the problems that you had difficulty with. So what I'd like you to do is just watch this video. When you're done, I'd like you to try to do the Pear Deck lesson again on your own. And hopefully this time you're going to get all the questions right. Let's start with the first question. A toy robot started to walk along a ruler at the 2 centimeter mark. It stopped at 12 centimeters. How far did it walk? So you needed to show that your start point is 2 centimeters, your end point is 12 centimeters. And then hopefully you can see that you need to subtract 12 minus 2 to get the distance that that robot walked. So we know 12 minus 2 is equal to 10. And don't forget to put your unit, which is centimeters. So I know in the Pear Deck lesson, it didn't allow you to put the unit in, which is too bad, but please make sure that you're remembering your units. Also, in a word problem, we always answer in a sentence. So you want to include that the robot walked 10 centimeters. Question 2, you measure the width of your bedroom to be 4 meters. How many centimeters is this? In this question, you could make a table and put down that we know that 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. And then we can just complete the table up to 4 meters to figure out how many centimeters that is. Or if you automatically know the answer, that's fine too. So 2 meters would be 2 times 100 or 200 centimeters. 3 meters will be 300 centimeters. 4 meters will be 400 centimeters, and that is our answer. So if you already had figured out that the width is 400 centimeters, that's great. Okay. Question 3, you measure the width of your kitchen to be 4 meters. The length of the kitchen is 2 times longer than the width. How many centimeters is this length? So in this question, we have to do a couple of things first before we can just automatically switch to centimeters. First of all, we need to go back to multiplication. So it's telling us that the length is 2 times longer than the width. So what you're going to need to do is multiply 2 times 4 to get 8 meters, which is your length. Okay. Now you could go back to making a table to figure out how many centimeters this is, or if you automatically know, that's great too. So we can create this table and put the pattern in. So 2 meters is 200 centimeters, 300 centimeters, 4 meters is 400, 5 meters is 500, 6 meters is 600 centimeters, 7 meters is 700 centimeters, and of course 8 meters would be 800 centimeters. So the length of the kitchen is 800 centimeters. Next question. It tells us that 1 pack of gum is 10 centimeters long. How long is half a pack of gum? So in this question, we're going to divide, right? We're going to say 10 divided by 2, which is equal to 5 centimeters. So if you had said 5 centimeters is the length of half of 10, you are correct. How about if the question asked you how long is 3 packs of gum? So you could draw a picture to figure out the answer and show that we've got 10 plus 10 plus 10 centimeters, which is equal to 30 centimeter length in total. So 30 centimeters is the right answer. Here we have an estimation question. We've done this one before, but I thought I would include it as a review. It says to estimate the height of this baby tiger on my desk. So I show you that I've measured the distance from my desktop to the top of my computer to be 60 centimeters. That's the reference that you're going to use to measure the height of this tiger. So remember, we talked about this before. The height of the tiger, we're looking at how tall the tiger is from his paws up to his back. So if you eyeball this, you should see he's about half of the referent. So it would be about 30 centimeters the height of the tiger. Okay, so half of 60 is 30 centimeters. This was a picture that I took when we were in Drumheller, and I thought it would be funny to add a little penguin in my picture for our math class, just to give you a little bit of entertainment. So here we're going to use this penguin as a reference to estimate the height of my son. So if the height of this penguin is 50 centimeters, so I show you this, how many penguins do you think it would take to reach the top of my son's head? So you should be looking at that saying, well, I could probably fit about 3 penguins, or 50 times 3, or 50 plus 50 plus 50, which is 150 centimeters tall. Okay. Okay, let's look at the ant question. So this, again, we're going to be probably drawing a picture. If you've got paper out, you should draw just a little circle for the ant hill and another little circle on the other side for the cookie. So it says an ant crawled 6 meters from its ant hill to some crumbs. It picked up a crumb, crawled back to the ant hill, and went back to the crumbs to pick up one more. The ant then crawled back home. How far did the ant travel altogether? So again, with word problems, we want to read the problem quickly first, and then we're going to highlight our words that are important. So I'm going to try something new today and see if I can use my highlighter on my screen to model this for you. So let's use a yellow color. And let's see if I can actually do this. Hopefully this works. Okay, I'm just going to see if I can move that out of the way. There we go. Okay, so an ant crawled 6 meters. That's important to underline. From its anthill to some crumbs. Okay, and then it picked up a crumb, crawled back. So it picks up the crumb, then it crawls back. And then went back to the crumbs to pick up one more. And then the ant had crawled back home. Okay, so we need to find out how far did the ant travel all together. That's important to underline or highlight. Okay, so how do we do this question? So again, this is going to be a lot of drawing and making sure that you're rereading the question, make sure that you're not missing anything. So the ant goes from its home to the crumb. Okay, so let's draw a line. And then it goes back home. Then it goes back to pick up another crumb. And then it goes back home. So we know the distance is 6 meters from its anthill to the crumb. So we have basically 6 meters plus 6 meters plus 6 meters plus 6 meters for a total of 12 plus 12 is 24 meters. So we write the sentence, the ant walked 24 meters altogether. Okay. And let's erase what I did for my highlighting, and we're going to do some more highlighting in this question. Okay, so back to highlighting. So let's read the question first quickly. Allie, Brooklyn, Jillian, and Noah planted 4 trees in a row. Brooklyn and Jillian's trees are planted in between Allie and Noah's trees. Allie's and Noah's trees are 20 meters apart. Allie's and Brooklyn's trees are 8 meters apart. Jillian's and Noah's trees are 4 meters apart. How far apart are Brooklyn's and Jillian's trees? Whoa, you're probably thinking this is a crazy question. So there's a lot of important information to highlight. Okay, so these 4 students planted 4 trees in a row. Brooklyn and Jillian's trees are planted in between Allie and Noah's trees. So that's going to be important for us. Okay, and I don't know why. Oh, because my color is white. We've got to change that to yellow. Let's see if that works. Nope. It wants to keep going back to. There we go. Let's try this again. No. Okay. I don't think I'm going to be able to highlight for some reason. Let's try this one more time. And I don't want to waste your time here, grade 3. So let's see. There we go. Okay, so Brooklyn and Jillian's trees are in between Allie and Noah's trees. Okay, and we know that Allie and Noah's trees are 20 meters apart. Okay, and then Allie and Brooklyn's trees are 8 meters apart. Okay, that's important to underline. And then lastly, we know that Jillian and Noah's trees are 4 meters apart. So we need to figure out how far apart are Brooklyn's and Jillian's trees. Now, in this type of question, you're probably going to have to reread for a 3rd time as you're drawing. Okay, so let's start with drawing out the trees. So we have 4 trees in a row. We know that Brooklyn and Jillian's trees are going to be in between Allie and Noah's. So they're going to be in the center. Okay, so Allie's is going to be over here. Noah's is going to be over here. Okay, because the 4 trees are planted in a row. Okay, so that takes care of the first 2 sentences. Now it says Allie's and Noah's trees are 20 meters apart. So we need to draw this on our picture. Okay, so we have 20 meters between Allie and Noah's trees. Allie's and Brooklyn's trees are 8 meters apart. So we need to add this to our picture. Okay. Jillian's and Noah's trees are 4 meters apart. Okay, now does this look like it's an easier question? I hope so. How far apart are Brooklyn's and Jillian's trees? So now we can add another arrow in and put a question mark because this is what we're trying to figure out. So you can see that 8 plus 4 plus the question mark has to add up to 20 meters. Okay, so now you're going to take a look at this equation and say, I know that 8 plus 4 is 12, and we know that 12 plus something has to add up to 20 meters. So what plus 12 gives us 20? You should be saying to yourself, 8 meters is the answer. Okay, so Brooklyn and Jillian's trees are 8 meters apart. All right, now we're on to perimeter. What is the perimeter of the small rectangle below? So here I show you that the scale is that one of these units is equal to 1 meter. Okay, so we would add, or we would find out the dimensions of this rectangle first. We would say, okay, the width of the rectangle is 2 meters, and the length of the rectangle is 1, 2, 3 meters. And so all we have to do is just add up these 4 sides to find the perimeter. So the perimeter, or P, is equal to 3 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2, which is equal to 10 meters. Okay, next question. I see my highlighting is still there, so I'm going to erase it. There we go. In this question, it says that we have 10 meters of fencing to build a pen for our dog to play. Draw 2 different designs for your dog. So easiest way to do this is to create some rectangles. So in that last question, I actually gave you one of the answers. So I'm actually using this rectangle tool to draw a rectangular pen for my dog. So I know from that last question that if I have a 2x3 rectangle, the perimeter is 10 meters. We can double check this, right? So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is the perimeter of this rectangle. Okay, now let's see if we can make another rectangle with a width of 1 meter long. Let's see if we can draw this. So there's 1, then 2, 3, plus 1 is 4, right? And then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's double check and make sure that the perimeter is 10 meters. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So notice I double check my work so I don't make silly mistakes. So here are 2 rectangles that I could make to enclose my dog and have a nice little pen for him to run in. All right, and I just showed you again, I did it with you, but I'm going to erase my work and show you the other rectangles that I drew, which were exactly the same. All right, let's move on. Okay, here is another little bit of a trickier problem. So you're going to need to read first for just a general understanding, and then you're going to go back and underline your keywords. So it says Winnie is 132 centimeters tall. Winnie is 6 centimeters taller than Xenia. Xenia is 10 centimeters taller than Zach. How tall is Zach? So in this question, I know I have 3 people, and I have to figure out how tall Zach is. So I'm going to actually just draw some pictures of my 3 students first, and I'm going to write down what I know. So Winnie is 132 centimeters tall. I can actually just put that right on top of my picture, on top of my diagram. So I know she's 132 centimeters tall. Now I go on to the next sentence. I know that Winnie is 6 centimeters taller than Xenia. So here's Xenia, and I'm going to have to say, okay, how do I figure that out? She is taller. Winnie is taller than Xenia by 6 centimeters. So I think if I subtract 132 minus 6, I can get the height of Xenia. Okay. There we go. And so when I subtract 6, I get 126 centimeters for the height of Xenia. Now it says Xenia is 10 centimeters taller than Zach. So I have to figure out how tall Zach is. But I've just done this intermediate step first, and now I can figure out, well, Xenia is 10 centimeters taller than Zach is. So I'm going to need to subtract 10 to figure out Zach's height. So when I do that, I come up with 116 centimeters tall for Zach. So the best way to do these measurement word problems, grade 3s, is to draw pictures. Now you don't have to draw complicated pictures. You could just do stick people, right? And then just write down the information that you know, and that should lead you to figure out your plan or your next steps to find your answer. All right. Now for one of the trickier questions. I think this is probably the hardest question of them all, and that's why I left it to the last. It says, Mia's garden has 3 sides. Its sides are 5 meters, 7 meters, and 5 meters long. Mia planted zinnias, so these are flowers, 1 meter apart around the edge of the garden. How many zinnias did Mia plant? So again, we need to draw a picture. So let's draw a triangle, label the sides as 5, 5, and 7 centimeters. Okay, so you don't have to draw a fancy flower, just you could do circles for flowers. Okay, so now it says that we've got to plant these flowers 1 meter apart around the edge of the garden. So I'm actually going to just start at a point on my triangle. So I planted 1 flower here. Okay, now we're going to show that we need to plant these 1 meter apart. So we're going to go, okay, from here to here is 1 meter, but we know that there's 5 meters in this length of this triangle. So we're going to go 1, okay, 2 meters, 3 meters, 4 meters, and then 5 meters. Okay, so don't worry about counting up the flowers until the very end. All right, we're just trying to draw our picture to solve the problem first. Now we need to go around the triangle this way. All right, so we know the length of this triangle here is 7 meters. So we're going to continue to plant the flowers 1 meter apart until we get across this triangle at the bottom, the length here, 7 meters. So here we go. There's 1 meter, 2 meters, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 meters. Okay, so the flowers are 7 meters apart. Let's keep going. Now this last length of the triangle is 5 meters long. So again, let's make sure that we're not making silly mistakes. You can count out loud to help you. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then lastly is 5 meters in between these flowers, right? So this is 1 meter, 2 meter, 3 meters, 4 meters, 5 meters. Okay, now, oh, I don't know where that flower disappeared. There we go. Let's count up our flowers. So count up, I'd say start at the top so you don't lose track. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 flowers that she planted. So if you said 17, you are correct. So hopefully grade 3s, this video helps to clarify any questions you had with any of the problems that you struggled doing today. What I'd like you to do now is go back into classwork and try doing the Pear Deck lesson again on your own time. So you can take as long as you want to answer the questions. Use a piece of paper to help draw out your questions, and hopefully this will help you to answer those questions that you were struggling with. All right, thanks grade 3s.